Okay friends, one of the first things we have to do to get started on our job is to safely raise and support the front of the vehicle so the wheel's off the ground. After that, remove all of your lug nuts and then remove the wheel. Let's continue on to removing the inner tie rod end nut. Obviously there's going to be a cotter pin on that. Go ahead and take it right off and then remove the nut. Easy peasy. Let's use our 18mm socket, loosen this up. Okay, so now that we have the nut loose on this, the next thing that I want to do is separate the inner tie rod end from the center link. To do that, commonly you can use a pickle fork, but you might actually end up damaging the inner tie rod end. If you're not replacing it for some reason, obviously you don't want to damage this. I'm just going to use my hammer, come right up in between this area here and cause some vibration to break it free. Now that we have this inner tie rod broken free, let's go ahead and do the same to the other side of the vehicle. Now that we have both of the tie rod ends off, the next thing we'll do is remove the nut and cotter pins from the idler arm and from the pitman arm on the other side. Spray these with some penetrant. Now the next thing we want to do is separate this joint right here between the idler arm and this center link itself. When I do that, I don't want to use a pickle fork because I could potentially damage the joint on the idler arm or even the boot in between. I'm going to use this tool right here. I'm just going to kind of come up over the center link here and then I'll press in on the stud, being very careful not to damage the stud in any way. Now that I have it broken free, I'm just going to put this nut on here to keep the bar still for me, and then I'll move along to the pitman arm. All right, now that we have both of these joints separated, I'm just going to go ahead and remove the safety nuts here. There it is, friends. All right, now it's time to get our brand new center link in here. Gonna line it up with the idler and the pitman arm. We'll start our nuts on there and snug them up. Let's bottom these out. Now let's torque the pitman arm to 60 foot-pounds. Torque the idler arm to 50 foot-pounds. Now that we have both of the idler arm and the pitman arm torqued, the next thing we want to do is line up the cotter pin holes. If it's not lined up, continue tightening until the very next slot is. Do the same on the other side. Now we can start putting our inner tie rod ends back in. Start the nut on there. Let's torque this to 46 foot-pounds. All right. Now you just want to line up the slots of your nut to the hole in the stud. If it isn't, continue tightening until it is, and then put in your locking cotter pin. Do the same on the other side. Let's get our tire up on here. Start on all your lug nuts, snug them up, and then we'll torque them. Okay, once you have them all started on there, go ahead and get your wheels safely back on the ground, and then we'll torque all of the lug nuts to 120 foot-pounds. Torqued. All right, we got the truck all back together. What's left to do now? Safely take your vehicle for a road test down to your local alignment shop.